Hey everyone, I was going to do this as a pre-recorded live, but I'm just going to upload this as a recording for Mrs. Portland and Noodle Mash. Um, Basically, all I want to say, first off, is Noodle Mash, I did listen to your live streams. Um, Now, one thing you did say was Mrs. Portland and I were on. We were speaking. I was speaking very kindly of you, so there was no dragging, anything like that. Um, but you did do a response video to my video, but you didn't watch it. So, I mean, normally if you're going to respond to something, you want to look into it first. So that tells me A, you either watched it and just don't want to say for some reason, or B, you did watch it because you were responding almost to every single thing that we were saying in that in that live stream. Forgive me, I have a cough, I have to pee, and I'm about to run into the gym. Anyways, so uh one thing that I also want to say is nobody was being blocked if they were coming into my live to defend you. Much like you said at the beginning of your live stream, because I did listen to yours, if people say disrespectful or really hateful stuff, then yes, they are blocked. So there's that. But you were just listening to people in your chat. So you had a whole stream responding to my live stream that you did not watch. And then you had people in your chat saying, Robbie was blocking everybody that was coming in to defend you. And actually, one of the people that said that, I don't remember her name, but I remember specifically she was in my chat almost the entire time. I remember seeing whatever her name was, Vicky or something like that. Um, or Joyce. Her name is Joyce. She was in my chat the whole time, so I don't know what she was talking about. So nobody, and especially me, I was not blocking people. However, Noodle Mash, you did just kind of run with that and said, oh, see, yeah, he was doing that. So it goes to show me that you're not looking into things before you're actually speaking on it. Now, I understand that you have a past with Mrs. Portland. You say that you were the only person that defended her in high school when she was picked on. She says you were part of the person that picked on her. Now, that's back and forth. That's hearsay. But I have one question for you, Noodle Mash. If you were this person that defended her from being picked on horribly, from what it sounds like, then why on a bigger platform, which I think bullying on YouTube is 10 million times worse than high school or school could have ever been? So why are you contributing and teaming up with these people that make these really horrible videos about Mrs. Portland? Now, from what I've watched of your channel in the past, uh, I'm going to call you NM because I feel weird saying the name Noodle over and over. You seem like a really nice person, but there are a lot of, and I'm not saying this to be mean to you, I'm just saying there's a lot of people with hidden agendas that come to YouTube. So it kind of contradicts itself if you're saying, you saw the torture and the pain Miss Portland went through. Now, look, she's very open about responding to people, saying mean stuff, cussing people out, her mental state of being, her bipolar, her disabilities. She's very open about that stuff. And she's asked people, please leave me alone. I just want to craft. I just want to do this. I just want to do that. And, you often tell me, or you say it out loud, I know Mrs. Portland more than anyone. I know how she is. Well, I can also say the same for you. Me, along with dozens of people that surround you here on YouTube, have sat right where you're sitting. And that is in Natasha Cooper's chats or becoming Natasha Cooper's friend. Now, I went to Natasha Cooper very kindly, privately as a friend, and said, I don't want to come to your channel if you're making fun of that Miss Portland lady. I don't agree with it. And Natasha flipped on me. So, Noodle Mash, I often see you in her chat being very supportive, saying how loving she is. I'm talking about Natasha. But while you're saying stuff like that, Natasha's up there with people's pictures, bashing their looks, their weight, their hobbies, their family, everything, their genitals. So, I mean, you can say one thing, but actions really do speak louder than words. If you did or do take the time to watch my live stream, you'll see that I offered even to mediate privately with you and Mrs. Portland because she deserves to be on this platform just like anyone else. She wants to do her art and her hobbies. Guess who makes fun of it all the time? Natasha. Natasha knows it's going to instigate somebody like her, and she never stops. Now, some of the things that flies out of Miss Portland's mouth, yeah, they are bad. And she says, look, I don't want to get that angry. I don't want to say mean stuff, but she does. Now, yes, at some point we need to learn to control ourselves, but there are things like bipolar and mental disabilities and stuff that she's open about. So you think you'd give her a little bit of break and just stop talking about her. Now, I understand you don't do it in a terrible way, but you do engage and support communities that really go hard on Mrs. Portland. Now, that seems to be the popular thing to do in Natasha's community. And I went against the grain because I'm not a follower. And I have always defended Mrs. Portland, and I always will, because I see her crying out for help. I see her wanting to have a great community, and she's meeting a lot of wonderful people and trying to ignore the people that you are really actively supporting and enabling yourself. I heard you one time, I think it was you or one of your people in chat said that I enable Mrs. Portland and I use her. But if I wanted to use her, I would just do what's popular and just make fun of her, right? With you guys. It's my understanding, NM, Noodle, I'm just going to call you Noodle, I guess, that you had a channel before you discovered Natasha Cooper and Miss Portland were even here. So it blows my mind that you saw how bad she was picked on in high school, but you would support and kind of team up with somebody who makes fun of her nonstop and really bullies her really bad. Now, I understand Miss Portland had said mean stuff to you. She said mean stuff to me, Natasha, everyone. But you know that's the response you're going to get out of somebody when they've had enough. That's not excusing her behavior. For example, Natasha said she got a text message from one of her mutual friends, Sassy Pinky, who was texting me. And she was telling me, hey, Miss Portland's going off on Natasha right now, talking about her dead aunt and all this stuff. And Natasha is trying to make it sound like I said good that her aunt died. Of course, Natasha would run with something like that. I said good because I had went to Natasha way before that and said, leave Miss Portland alone. Just stop picking on her. Stop. And she didn't. So good for Miss Portland for standing up for herself. Now, the things that she says, do I agree with them all? No. But when you're making fun of a vulnerable individual like that, and you're teaming up on somebody on a daily basis and they're asking you to stop and you don't, and you know about their mental state of being, I don't care if people sit there and say, you can't use mental disabilities as an excuse. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. And you know you're going to set her over the edge if you say something mean to her or anything like that. So why do you continue to do it? It makes me wonder, Noodle, and I'm saying this in a nice way, but it makes me wonder if you saw that Natasha had maybe a bigger following and that's why you just stuck around there. That doesn't sound like the nicest person in school to me. There's many people that have come in these communities dressed like a sheep, but they're a wolf. I'm not calling you that, but your actions are not matching your words. You're often very kind on your channel and stuff, but you know what you're doing. You know Miss Portland better than any of us, right? So you know she's going to get triggered, and you're supporting channels that are actively making really hateful, childish videos about her, making fun of her in her bad moments when she explodes, any of those moments when she's upset, and you guys make a joke out of it. Because you're laughing at it, you're making fun of her, calling her names, you're supporting people that are doing that. So yeah, she is going to be upset. And she has a great, great support system. Sally Ann and Scarlett and a couple other people today calmed her down, took her offline, and she's going to log off for a few days and hopefully just relax and renew herself and not listen to all the hateful stuff that is said about her on a daily basis. Natasha Cooper often says, oh, people talk hate about me all the time. Yeah, well, Natasha, you claim to be this perfect, sane, wonderful human being, right? And you always say, I could take it. I could take it. Okay, well, you're openly saying you could take it. You could take it while you're picking fights with people and bullying them. Then you have people like Mrs. Portland who's saying, I can't take this. Please stop. Please just leave me alone. And people like Natasha, they don't leave her alone. They don't listen. They don't take her disabilities into consideration or anything. So I'm asking anybody that, and this is not a very fun video, but this is just a simple response, that we all get upset. And if we're not going to communicate with each other, which again, my email is saverobbie.1982@gmail.com. If anybody ever wants to reach out to me. But, you know, we're almost there. Like, I feel very close to like kind of everybody just getting back to doing their content. But it's very important that you address what the problems are or how you're feeling about it. When a protected class, such as Miss Portland, and a vulnerable individual says, please leave me alone, why don't you just stop? Stop talking about her, because it's going to instigate her to fire back at you. Now, I'm not saying that's okay for her to do that, or some of the things she says, but just just stop. She's gone silent for a long time, just enjoying her crafting and whatever, and she's got a good group of people that we support her. So that's all I had to say to that. I think that's all I had to say. You know, I just find it crazy that that's why I left Natasha's channel. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this nonsense. Every day she's mad and angry and cutting people down, their looks, their living situations, whatever it is, because she's so miserable inside. No person that is happy will be as angry as she is on a daily basis. It's impossible to be happy when you are that angry and you have that much hate and evil to spew out of your mouth, to cut people down on a daily basis and be incredibly jealous of people's friendships, whatever it is, their looks, and just try to bring them down. That is a very, very sad person. And that's usually what a bully is, right? When we're little, sorry, I think I'm getting sick. That's why I've been sucking on lozenges all day. So I'm going to get off here in a minute because my throat's getting really dry. But that is what bullies are. They just project. When we're little, the bully is usually the person that doesn't have the great home life or whatever it is. They're not happy, so they want to inflict pain on other people. And I hope you don't see Noodle or anybody else, but it's a pattern. Until Natasha changes the way she treats people, you're going to be in the same seat we are. And you know what? When you do and you're like, wow, she's really screwed me over, you were right, I'm not going to sit there and be mean to you about it and be like, I told you, fuck off. No, I'm just going to be like, well, yeah, everybody has to learn for themselves. And you will. All of these people, and I'm saying specifically to you, Noodle, Mash, when you go in Natasha's chats, I see you in there because I often will go just to listen to see what she's saying. When I see you in there and you're trying to spread love and saying hi to everybody and saying how loving and how much you support Natasha while she's dragging people, tearing them down, ripping them apart for their looks and whatever it is she can, and you're just in there, think about what you're doing. Why are you even there to begin with? Is that the type of person, really, you want to be a part of that? And as soon as you don't, guess what? Every single person that she's dragging up there, Noodle, pay attention to this part, because this is the most important part. Every single person that Natasha is dragging was once her friend where you sit, or a supporter where you sit. She will. That will be you. Now, Noodle, I know you said you didn't want to watch my stream because you were scared maybe it would be insulting or anything. No, I wasn't insulting you at all. But mark my words, as soon as that day comes with Natasha, if you are sensitive to stuff like that, oh, she's just going to tear you to pieces with her words. That's what she does. That's how she feels better about herself, because she is a miserable, miserable human being and extremely ugly on the inside and the outside. So with that being said, guys, I just wanted to say that, Noodle, I wish you would just reach out or something, because you're listening to a lot of people that are feeding you false information. I'm not going to block people if they're coming in to say something or, defend you or anything. There's no reason to defend you because I'm not against you. I'm just responding to you, and I'm very protective over Mrs. Portland because I have eyes and I see what's going on. I see other people taking advantage and using her. And I'm going to protect her because I adore and I love her and I see the good in her. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like my lungs are like, oh God, I hope I don't have the you-know-what again. My lungs are getting like really dry and I feel like I'm grasping for air and I'm just going to go. But have a good night. Goodbye. No chance. No